share Manchester City ne Brighton. Listo City for no almost struggle pa. And what check it listo City for no almost last 6 Premier League games are. Win 3, lose 3, and Brighton for no after lose almost last 6 games after losing 2 consecutive games to us. Almost last games baby. In fact, their last 6 games winning na. They are one of the few teams that last 6 games in the Premier League are winning 6 games nina. And it's listo City for no top 4 no munimu until if they are going to maintain the first spot. Now Arsenal and Aston Villa won't qualify for the semi-finals. It means that 5th slot and Premier League game actually, and they have to fight their way to the top 4. And City the 5th, Fulham the 10th. Who check the points gap between Manchester City? Any Fulham not that 10th from list to just 5 points. So if City don't continue winning games, their last 10 games are Yembo League, they may find themselves around some and it's list to who check Pep Guardiola. He's one of the best managers, arguably. People believe that he's the greatest manager. Who got top 5 managers in the history of football. You have to add Pep Guardiola because of the glorious, the kind of football baby could be and the blueprints of that team. So people believe that, and I also believe that he's one of the best managers ever to ever come into the football industry. No, but listen, the last time Pep Guardiola elusued more than 9 games and 9 games in the managerial career anymore was somewhere in 2019-2020. Oh, lose 9 games. Listen, this season already, City are losing 9 games. If Omu lose 10 games, it means that Pep Guardiola, the number of games will lose more in a single season this season. So they lose 10 games. And yes, so looking at how they are performing, if Omu 10 things around that, I see out of the 10 games, City might even lose 2 or 3 games in that games now can. And so listen, City finally lose just 10 games in the almost history of the Premier League. Omu lose just 10 Premier League games in one season. So Omu lose more games. So a defeat from Nyame Adoma game of money Brighton Melbourne. Ebesan so Man City's for so I Omu West record. So Omu lose 10 games out of the 38 games are on my boy in a season. And never be near Koso. Listo, who check it City for now? Omu last games on my boy wait here. Omu last 8 games, Listo. They have failed to win 4. And Omu lose like other 4 out of the 8. No, Omu winning. So their last 8 games, Listo. Omu winning 4, I lose 3, and a game back and in a drawn game. Man City for Listo, in as much as name makes me a lot of comfort for the fact that Omunya lose any home game against Brighton, and that alone, me assurance that City will win against Brighton Hove Albion. Brighton for Listo, they are doing very well after losing that 7-0 defeat at Nottingham Forest for sure. Oma winning last 6 games no competition, but they can't come. Oma winning in the last 4 in the Premier League, the longest ongoing run by any team. Say team they are winning games in the Premier League. In the last 6 games on board, Brighton for form yepa, and because of fine form one, I see them scoring a goal Manchester City. In fact, City lose at least there will be a disaster. The season number 10 year, especially because lose now form winning. Just 2 points separating you from the team are not that 10 points. And see who check it the Premier League log now list points number boss who any who the 4th from now who drop some so much points about the baby. And the 4 or 42, Man City or 47, Newcastle that 6 or 47. Brighton now Man City by list or the 7th position or 46. Even if only a point cry against Manchester City cry, it means that he is coming to get the same point with Manchester City. Aston Villa or 45. You Aston Villa form. Antoine some normal team. Bournemouth or more 44 points. Fulham or 42. And in fact, Crystal Palace more below 10. They are all 39, 38. Who lose 2 matches to drop it some points. The other teams will catch up at least. Or never mind. I think that things will be difficult for Manchester City, but with the home record and in the history of this game, but I don't see Manchester City losing. Maybe a 3-1 victory for Manchester City in this game will be very highly possible. Listen, I'll look into the big game. Because in the Premier League this season. In fact, Chelsea Emirates or share Arsenal, and it's going to be a gamer. What check Chelsea last 10 games against team and they Arsenal winning 6, Chelsea are winning 1, and the 3 I draw. So in recent times, when Chelsea is Arsenal, or especially when Mikel Arteta a team no, it's going to be very difficult. Looking at the league log right now, Chelsea at the 4th with 49 points, with 2 points ahead of Manchester City and Newcastle, and 3 points ahead of team and the Brighton Hove Albion. If Chelsea lose against Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City share, Newcastle share, Aston Villa share, all these teams list to Chelsea beating up that by the 7th position or the 8th position on the league log after losing that game, and it's going to be very difficult. Say Chelsea will lose that game, because this is what Chelsea performance against the big clubs are. They dominate the games, and Arsenal, when they meet a team or sharp attackers or team dominating or multi ebre, Arsenal from the list to joint league high 9 home games at halftime, especially at halftime. Wait me to see go Arsenal. She said halftime Arsenal is not going to lose, because at halftime I'm lose just 1 and I'm draw 3. Since then, all other 9 home games on boy in Arsenal listo also winning. It's going to be very difficult for your Arsenal team. Looking at how lining up, and the more players are injuries, because especially we check Arsenal team now listo. Chelsea were a lot of players from injury. Wesley Fofana now James back from injury, and the only players among your fit, which is Nicholas Jackson, Magui, Noni Madueke, and Mikhailo Mudryk are only their suspension. And the thing is, after this Arsenal game at Chelsea called the international break, Noni Madueke and Nicholas Jackson will be back into the squad. And you look at Arsenal setup, they have Havertz, who is going to miss the rest of the season, Gabriel Jesus, Raheem Sterling, because of the loan into own team. But last weekend, best is it man of the match or Champions League one boy, and also Bukayo Saka so Epra, Gabriel Martinelli should now be prime so bit me and the first start, Leandro Trossard so bit me, and a lot of things are a bit me. So in this game list too, I see Sahara, because of how I asked about game this season. They defend so very well, and they make sure that if they are not scoring, they are not going to concede goal. And this season, Chelsea, if Kopama is not scoring, almost how Messi goal, and Kopama so in the last 10 games, he's been struggling to get a goal. And then you don't have Nicholas Jackson, at least goals be. You don't have Jadon Sancho in the last best 7 games. Onyanya assistant, and last time Onyanya assistant Onyanya goal. And Chelsea cannot only rely on Marco Cucurella, who has been scoring for fun this season. In fact, if Chelsea are going to get the 3 points or a point in this game, it means that Enzo Fernandez, Marco Cucurella, and the Chelsea attackers have to take their chances. If they're able to take their chances, I may see Chelsea getting a point out of this game. This game, I see it to be maybe a 1-1 draw, a goalless draw. Then I also look into another game. Another game I must show this game over the weekend to be Leicester City and the Manchester United game. It's going to be very difficult. Only Leicester City and I share 5 opening goals against Manchester United in almost last 9 Premier League games this season. And it's list to the coach behind Leicester City was the coach when United for Palm Eric Ten Hag the interim manager, and also turning things around before Ruben Amorim take maintains at hand Manchester United. And also koko joining team Leicester City. In fact, before Obabe joining Leicester City, now Leicester City were home record they do so much well. In as much as Leicester City if Leicester City are playing at home at least and I wasn't expecting Leicester City to dip in form. In fact, who check Leicester City for list last game they are without a win in their last 6 games. Lose. They lost against Everton. Man United 2-1 in the FA Cup. They lost 2-0 to Arsenal. They lost 4-0 to Brentford at home. They lost 2-0 to Leicester City, and they lost 1-0 to Team Manedin at the Chelsea. In fact, in their last 9 games and our last 10 games, winning just 2 and lose 8. which is very bad for coach and the Ruben Van Nistelrooy on in the former team United, which he has played, and he also managed the team as well. It's going to be very difficult, but I think that list with Man United, how they are gather momentum, how they are doing their things, and I think that United getting a draw, a double chance for United is highly possible. But this is Leicester City team only winning last 6 games, and they will hope say me some win, especially this game. I don't see Leicester City also losing a war. So in this game, I see it to be a scoring draw. I see it to be a scoring draw in this game. A scoring draw in this game. I think that United for the Europa League, they also hope that the Europa League, maybe the FA Cup. United might not be able to win the FA Cup. The Premier League is out of reach for United, and also the Europa League in the Liga. Ruben Amorim will say at least obey and the first trophy for Manchester United. Another big game at least European leagues Atletico Madrid up against Manchester City. Atletico for Listo, they've not been lucky cry for the past 2 weeks. They a lot of big games, and in fact, if Atletico Madrid wants to win the league, Medican can say if you want to win the league, teams now no more born. You don't have to drop points against them. 1 year their crampono, you should be able to get at least a point. Mun share points in at least mun na muko kushia nketwa no ase ho a mo yesa nema no ade amom. So what? But they lost to Real Madrid. Estadio Wanda Metropolitano. In fact, they won the game.
You are talking about the
Champions League. They lost.
Yeah,
they won
the game, but they lost
on penalties because of first. Yes, and they are coming to play against a team and then the Barcelona beam. Looking at how Atletico right now, the Copa del Rey, they are out of the Copa del Rey. The almost win the Copa del Rey, and the Champions League too. Free
Atletico Copa del Rey.
I think of someone
maybe Barca 4-4.
4-4 our way.
So they host
Barca.
Wanda Metropolitano.
Yes.
Second leg. Madrid neko winning 1-0 against
Real Sociedad. Yeah. And if they want to win one of these games, it means that, especially if they want to win one of these trophies, that is against Barcelona and against Barcelona also in the Copa del Rey. This is a game on Barcelona variable home. And in fact, listen, the game against Madrid, how they played. Madrid, how almost set up on game. That will not be the same way. Team and the Barcelona, listen, on best set up. Especially on lineup and on the ball. Barcelona was sharp attackers. They will have Rafinha, they have Lamine Yamal, they have creators. But Madrid team, they don't have a lot of creative players in their setup. Who you look at Modric for all these years, no creative chances. Benzema, Vinicius, Mushana. Right now, he's not being able to be creating that chances. This season, me and Modric, why up to even 10 assists. Chamel ni Kamavinga munye players on my year, and the only players they are creators and they are scorers in their team. Right now, Madrid Manikanga only nisha. You have to defend very well. Send a bit go, and Atletico Madrid were able to do that. Atletico Madrid, would they be able to stop Lamine Yamal, Rafinha from not scoring? Because these are players they might not be able to but they will create the chances for both Dani Olmo for Rebno Beshego, both Pedri for Rafinha mo, Lewandowski mo. They will be creating chances. So I don't see Atletico Madrid stopping Barcelona from scoring, especially Yamuha or game number and Listo ending in a 4-4 game. And Barca, so defensively, that high line on board, who are players, attackers they can shoot from anywhere, who are attackers or make them creating chances you can also find ways and means also make them their creative goals. In Twachaki, Atletico Madrid, any Barcelona Listo, among last 5 games on Barcelona are winning 3 times. Atletico are winning just 1. And then the last 4-4 number in Ababe draw. But let's talk about the venue they are going to play this game. In fact, last 5 games between Atletico and Barcelona at the Estadio Wanda Metropolitano. Listo. Barca winning more 3 times. In fact, the last time they played at this venue, Barca Ekoko winning 3-0. That was when Joao Felix Eko back Ekoko Hanti Omo Lewandowski and a brand ending any Femi Lopez. Rafinha mo and Lewandowski mo ye assist for all these games. And yet again, the last 2 games, Barca Ekoko share just 1-0 at the Stadio Wanda Metropolitano. That time Ousmane Dembele was there and Atletico are winning just 2 games. So in fact, Barca up against Atletico Madrid, no, most at times it produces goals. Sometimes depending on how Atletico Madrid want to set up, it doesn't produce goals. So if Atletico yes oh Charlie, onya a point against Barcelona cry, it might not, you might not see a lot of goals. But Atletico, with that pain defeat, if they want to repay their supporters, they can cause havoc to a Barcelona team. Atletico this season, when they have their day, they can score any team in Europe this season. And let's come out the list to all. I'm avoiding defeat in 8 of our last 10 league games. I'm about when I'm considered first this season. And even if game no, Barca show first goal cry in the first leg cry, I still don't see Atletico say on bottle on leading. It's going to be an interesting game. But this game to list all how Atletico for no game against Madrid, they are 4-4 against Barcelona. No, these games list all I see it to be a scoring draw, a 1-1, a 2-2. But if this game, no, what better take chances, no, especially Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, anybody can win this game. But to me, I see the fair results to be a scoring draw in this game list all.